Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News with the VCT kickoffs just a few days away. Zellsis has responded to all the drama over the last few days about pANcada out, Zellsis in for the start of the season, but Sacy from Sentinels, long-time teammate of course with pANcada, also explains just why Zellsis is such a crucial part of their team and arguably an irreplaceable part of the Sentinels roster going forward. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just want to mention some further reaction here to the chamber buffs. Now, the chamber buffs aren't anything massively substantial, but I wonder whether they will change the perception of the community as to whether chamber can be viable or not, because we have seen in other games, famously Counter-Strike was the case for this. With the SG, also known as the Krieg, and the AUG, they were very powerful weapons for a very long period of time. They were never used by the pros because the belief was that, oh, you know, they've got a scope, a COD gun, noob gun, whatever. They were never really used, despite the fact that they were, by the numbers, very powerful weapons and very viable in the competitive meta. Valve knew this to be the case, so they reduced the price on those weapons so that people would start to use them, and then they put the price back to what it was previously, and people still used them because they realized they were good. So all it took was a little push to say, hey, these guns are actually very good, guys. You might want to give them a go. And even when they then were reverted back to how they were previously, when nobody used to use them, all of a sudden they were now the mainstays in the competitive meta because the pros had realized that actually, no, these guns are the better weapons. And it was, you know, the AUG meta, the Krieg meta happened for some time before Valve then had to nerf them because it was getting a bit ridiculous. So I do wonder whether there's anything similar that could happen here with Chamber and also other agents, that I don't believe the pros necessarily use what is the best. I think they use what they believe to be the best. And those two things are usually the same, but they're not necessarily always the same. And if there are changes now to Chamber that make people think, hey, maybe Chamber's worth a try, they try Chamber, they think, actually, hang on a second, this agent is maybe better than we thought it was and could be viable in some composition. So I'm not expecting Chamber to like take over the meta or anything, but I am saying that some of these small tweaks sometimes have more impact than you might well otherwise expect. Lots of matches as well to mention that have been going down over the last 24 hours or so. The Japanese challenger scene is popping off as well. I think it's really interesting to see how, like, the challenger side of Japan, I know there's like massive organizations even in the challenger side over there as well, but there's always awesome viewership for these type of games, and as we can see here, that's now officially underway in Japan. This is how the main stage looks over there so far. Started a few days ago, Fennel opening up 3-0, Reject got the victory yesterday up against, I believe they played Scars, didn't they? Was that right? Yeah, so yeah, here we go, Reject 2-1 against Scars, taking the victory. Yoshi had 80 frags over 3 maps, but that was not enough, unfortunately, for him. There was also, however, the closed qualifier number 2 grand final in the Game Changer side. So Passion Project got the victory here in the finals against FlyQuest Red, and Do Donut, I don't know if that's really the best way to pronounce it, but she dropped 88 frags over 3 maps here, and I believe it was, yeah, Binds. She dropped 47 frags on the Raze in a 20-18 banger series here. I mean, like, what an unbelievable series, right? It was kind of a weird one because I don't believe there was any casters on this. It was just streamed as a game. It would have been, like, honestly, the casters would have been going wild. From map 17, 2018 overtime, 47 bomb for the W. So that was pretty cool. And of course, that meant that just looking at the Game Changer situation as it stands, with Passion Project going through, all the other teams fell short. Now, I believe there might still be chances here just because, you know, FlyQuest Red 33 points from the circuit by getting to this far. And the main event looks as follows. FlyQuest Red already qualified here, right? So, yeah, other teams based on series points will make it, but Passion Project certainly in as well, with one team still to be determined for number 6 series points, I believe. But yeah, those are your 8 teams in the Game Changer side for the Americas. Speaking just quickly of the qualifiers, it's tomorrow that the second open qualifier starts. So teams like SR, Shopify Rebellion, that have qualified for the Game Changer stuff, they are now, of course, free again to play in the second open qualifier and then closed qualifier once you get to top 32. So that's starting tomorrow. That finishes on the 16th for challenges, and then that pretty much coincides with the beginning of the Americas kickoff in the franchise side. So lots of Valorants going down this month, as I'm sure you can tell. Just also to mention from Apex here, the team that was so close and arguably should have qualified through Ascension last year to win, they have formed a pretty new roster because this is the unfortunate part. When you're the best team in challenges, as they were last year in EMEA, pretty much, they lost the last game to Gentlemates. Those were the guys that qualified up to the Pro League. you tend to lose your best players. Like Apex had the best team, so some of those guys were going to go, and they were going to go up to the league anyway, which is pretty much what happened. So they've had to build a new roster, and they've built a new roster that is pretty spectacular. This guy Kajak here is like, honestly, unbelievable. 43 in 12, by the way, on the Euro in yesterday's series. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, Sunset was 13-2. He went 23-6. And then Icebox, he went 20-6 for the win on the Euro. Like, are we serious right now? They 13-0'd Formulation Gaming here. Okay, not massively notable team, but, I mean, come on. There was even this clip going around that Sliggy and others were reacting to of this guy in action. If you guys haven't seen this guy play, I don't know how Apex are finding these unbelievable duelist talents, but have a look at this final kill. So, you know, here we go, 1v1, it's Jeff versus Kajak, and Jeff plays this so well. Like, if you're the observers, you're thinking for sure this is a round here for Jeff. He's going to walk through the smoke, Kajak's going to go down, and that's going to be GG. Kajak hits this shot. I mean, how quick was that? It's a shame there's no replay system. We don't know ever what it's going to look like from his POV, but I don't even know how he was that quick. Like, that is absurd. So definitely an exciting player in region to keep your eyes on going forwards. But let's talk about this old Sentinels thing again, because we've had further reaction to this over the last 12 or so hours, really, with Zellsis discussing the repercussions of this circumstance. Although it was pretty funny, actually, that Will might have put this together with Zellsis in the loud jersey, because pANcada had to learn English, so, you know, maybe it's about time that Zellsis goes to learn Portuguese. But Zellsis responds as follows: "No, I didn't snake pANcada. Yes, I am Sacy." They've got to understand that, like, Zellsis, he's a funny guy, he's a character, and some of the stuff that he says, you've always got to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. I know that some people see that his tweets here as, like, disrespectful or whatever. I don't really see it that way at all. I just think it's kind of entertaining, and it's just the personality that he has. But, look, this is what he says at face value. "I didn't snake pANcada. Yes, I am starting. Yes, I'm better than all of you. No, I don't hate pANcada. Yes, I'm a Vive merchant," which is pretty funny, because that's one of the explanations as to why that he's retained his spot very nicely on this team, is because he brings the vibes, you know, but he also brings other things as well. Yes, I love Brazil. Yes, I will beat your favorite team. And this is kind of one of the points, right, is that the fact that pANcada is gone, I don't think it should be massively controversial. I know that pANcada's a great player, but it's no surprise that Zellsis has improved this team, and there are multiple reasons why that seems to be the case. So, in any other sport, it would not be controversial that the player that Zellsis is in, and the player that pANcada is gone. But, obviously, people are going to make it one thing or another, so Zellsis has to respond to some degree to that. And, look, if you guys haven't given this tweet a nice little like yet, hop over, give Zellsis the impressions that he deeply desires. Zellsis also, though, makes a comment on stream about this, and again, look, he's tongue-in-cheek, like, he's joking around a little bit, but you know what he says is, "I'm better than pANcada, I'm the better player, that's why they're starting me." But we don't just have to get this from Zellsis' point of view. We heard it from Tens the other day, but we hear it in more detail actually here from Sacy, because Pedro Romero, another quality interview here that he did with Sacy yesterday, of course, links in the description as always, like 17 minutes long. But I'll share a little snippet of it where he talked about Zellsis specifically and exactly what he brings to the team.
And Jordan, you know, Zellsis is like the guy that we needed, honestly, because just the personality that he has, and the effects that it gave us, especially on the kids. I say kids like Zach and Tyson. And I think, like, we always joke about him like being the vibe guy, but it's not only about that. And I think that he's a really important part of the team. Jordan, fuck. How can I explain to you? It's like Jordan. Jordan is like a special guy though, because I think he's the guy that reminds us of what is the final objective, you know? It's like, we all want to win, of course, we always say that, but he's the kind of guy that he doesn't even need to say it, but he's always reminding us, like, why we are here, why we're still playing, why we're still practicing, what is the goal for today. So this is the guy, like, even if you're feeling like down on the day, he's the guy that will cheer you up and get you on the track together. Like, I don't know, I just feel that he was a like a really good addition to the team, and I think the offseason proved it.
I hate you for fucking up pANcada's career, Zellsis. I hope you shit yourself in kickoff. Womp womp, wah, wah, cry, wah, wah. I'm better than your favorite player, wah, wah, cry, wah. Fucking brain dead kid. Am I taking creatine? Yeah. I'm gonna commit.
Be right this front, man.
So I thought it was interesting how he explains that it's kind of more than just vibes, right? It's not just that he's an absolute vibe merchant. It's also just the general feeling that Zellsis brings to the table and why that makes sense. He also went on to say how Zellsis is effectively the secondary caller now. It used to be Sacy. Gen.G, of course, primary caller. Then Zellsis is now effectively operating as the secondary caller over there. Used to be Sacy. So Sacy can operate in other ways. He can focus on doing other things. He can focus on keeping the lid on the kids, as he called them, which are Tens, of course, and Zekid, just to make sure they don't overextend and play in a more disciplined way. But I think you can clearly tell, and Sacy and pANcada, you know, they go way back as well. Right? Of course, they're on the Lao team that won the World Championship together, and they came over together here to Sentinels. I'm sure they have a close bond and connection, but you can tell from the way that Sacy talks that Zellsis has clearly been a very important piece as to why this team has improved, or at least they feel like they've improved over the last few months, and the evidence backs them up based on the results. And of course, Zellsis, because he just can't help himself, he follows up and says, April Fools, guys, pANcada just has visa issues, lol, easy impression farm. I'm not really sure I buy this either necessarily. We don't really know what the case is with the visa issues, to be fair. Sacy did briefly have them, and now he's out in the States. So I highly doubt that pANcada's visa issues are the reason why he's gone from the team. I think clearly there's more to it than that. But pANcada is, for now, still in Brazil. I'm guessing they don't need him in America yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if pANcada's visa issues are fine, because I think that they probably should be. If Sacy's are sorted, which they are, then I can't imagine that there should be too much difference there for pANcada. But they wouldn't necessarily need him as a substitute in LA for the start of the season yet. But when the kickoff begins, then maybe he's going to be coming out in a few days' time just in case they need him. But I can't imagine that pANcada is, as it stands, still too happy with this whole arrangement. But very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.